Hi, this is Eric Martin of Board Game Geek and Adam Kunzmiller.
Yep.
And we are looking at Samurai Spirit by Antoine Bauza, which we played twice last night.
Yep.
It's debuted at Gen Con 2014. They had a few hundred copies flown in. It will be at Spiel and all that sort of stuff. But Bauza, co-op,
yeah.
We were like, we have to try. So
Definitely.
Here we go. And we played once, and we found a few rules along the way that weren't exactly right. And we
It's
played
true.
again with the proper rules, and we died much faster.
But it was more interesting.
It was more
It
interesting.
was
yes.
more fun dying faster.
Yeah, it worked better. And of course, we knew how to use our guys a little better.
Yep.
So the gist of the game is you have to last 3 rounds. You are samurai. The game goes up to 7 players, and there's all these individual samurai boards,
You
each
are
with
also were creatures.
creatures with
Of
special
some sort.
powers on the bottom, and the powers get increased as you go to your wear side, your strength
Yeah.
side. You have a power at the bottom and at the top. And you make a deck of invader cards, bandits, and you are trying to protect the village. You have 3 tokens which represent family members. You have 6 houses. If you lose all the family members or all the houses, then you lose the game.
Yep.
If
And-
one of your guys dies, you lose the game.
And the gist of the game as you're playing is essentially you have to draw these cards and figure out how to handle them. So they have a couple different properties. They have possibly a symbol here that you're trying to collect over the course of the game.
All right.
So they have a symbol that the players are trying to collect over the course of the game and put on this side, and that's one way to handle a person. So you could go like that.
Oh, sorry. You drew it.
Yeah, so
Put it over here.
So now I have this one here. I can't put any more next to this symbol. But we want to get all of these symbols before we run out of the cards. So
That's right.
decide
You
when to do that.
Adjust the card deck based on the number of players, and the game lasts until each player has passed, which is bad, or you have run out of the deck of cards. And for each family member that we have not protected, we lose one of them. For
Right.
each house we haven't protected, we lose a house. For each hat or helmet up here, the
We
player
take a
gets a wound. Okay, so if I draw, I can put this here on this side, which will protect the house, or I can put it on the other side. This is defending, and this is confronting.
Confronting or something like that.
The terminology I don't remember
Probably
exactly.
the most confusing thing that we struggled with the game is these penalties that you get. So the
Okay.
way these penalties work is at the start of your turn, whatever the most recent played card on this side showing's penalty will happen.
Yes.
So when I play it on my turn, I adjust the track by the amount, and the penalty
weights.
waits because that happens at the beginning of the turn. At the beginning of the turn, I didn't have one. Now I do. So I may suffer that next turn depending on whether I
That's
am
right.
able to handle it through some other means.
So at the start of my turn, I have one where I can't do support. So the actions on a turn are draw a card, which is fight, and you need to decide where to put the card. Support, which means you take your token, which is a duplicate of your own power. So my power, if I draw a card that is identical to the one that's on the right of me, I can choose to throw it away. which is
Identical
good.
number only.
Identical number. I
Right.
fight that bandit, and he's eliminated completely without having to go on my board.
Right.
Adam gets to...
Yeah, so my power is I can, after encountering a card, they say fight, but fight is handling on either side, really. After encountering a card, I may, if I desire, choose to encounter another card.
Yes. If you choose to use your support token, you give it to another player to grant them that power for the next turn. However, when you do that, you take one of the bandit cards and you put it at the board here. He's sneaking into the village while I'm over talking with
Right.
Kikuchiyo here.
And now on my turn, whether I use it or not, it's going to go away. I'm not going to happen to use it because I don't have the right things for it. But
And that's a sucky play.
yeah,
But,
that was
you know,
a suboptimal play, we'll call it.
that's right. That's
But like this
convention
is a
play.
really nice card because it has no penalty. So even if I had something nasty here, like this, by covering it with this, now on my next turn I'm not going to have to suffer that kind of start of turn negative.
That's
Negative thing that Bauza does in his co-op games.
Yes, and what are the penalties? Well, we mentioned I don't get to do support. This is a wound. If you have a wound showing at the start of your turn, you get a wound marker.
This one,
If you get a second wound marker,
yeah.
that's when you flip over to your animal side. You are now enraged and empowered. However, if you get 2 wounds when you're on your animal side, you're dead, and you lose
the
the
game
game.
ends.
Yeah.
this one is, while this is showing and I've started the turn with it, I can no longer tuck things on the side. So I can't
Yes.
fulfill these symbols that are important to do.
This one causes fire in the village. So for a fire symbol showing at the start of your turn, you lose a barricade. You start with a number of barricades based on the number of players. If you lose all your barricades, then the houses start burning down.
And the last one is your neighbor, in this case to the right, has to draw and encounter someone.
So,
which may not even be bad, depending. Like, if you had to draw and encounter someone and it happened to be a 4,
I get rid
that
of
would
it.
be great for us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So you go through the deck. At the end, oh, sorry. Let's back up one step. There's a little more here.
Oh, yeah.
If you have a total of cards that is equal to your ki power here, which is 9, okay, then my special power takes effect. And we have different ki numbers, and we all have different powers. And that's good. When that happens, I get rid of the bottom card. It's discarded from play, and my total goes back to 5. So I can hit that ki power again.
Over and over, yeah.
However, if, now I'm on 8, and now if I go over the ki power, one of the barricades burns, and I must pass on my future turns. I'm just out.
Yep.
And if we all have to pass and are out, what happens is any cards that are remaining get to sneak into the village.
Right.
Why that matters is you then first see, have we protected everyone? Do we
Right.
take wounds? Do we lose houses? Do we lose people? For each one that happens, you throw all those away. If there are family members remaining, you flip them over and they give you a bonus. Someone gets to heal a wound, you get
rid
to
of an
remove one of
invader.
these cards.
Yeah.
Okay. In the advanced game, the houses also have powers that happen in the tough level. After we resolve all that, we reveal these, and for each one that shows fire, oh, that's not good.
So yeah, flames licking the corner of the card here.
You lose a barricade, and if you're out of barricades, there go the houses.
So we would have
and
lost the
we
game
would have
there.
died.
Yep.
Well, we were hardly playing.
Sure, of course,
Yes.
of course.
So for round 2, you have 5 cards, and you shuffle in as many as the number of players to the deck that already exists. And for round 3, you add the 6s, which are bosses.
Yeah, they have
which
these double
special
penalties
powers.
and are really hoss.
Yes. So the first game, we actually made it to round 3.
Yeah.
And I forget what
that
died
was-
at the
but
end.
we were cheating and not
it
playing
was,
properly
It was a
and-
little
yeah.
cheaty there.
So what did you think of the game?
It was really engaging.
I
and
was-
I loved the
yeah.
power. It was very interactive with.
I was
hands
surprised
down.
at how simple these powers are and how interesting we were able to combine them together.
I mean, the thing is, they're simple and this game is short, but
It'll take you
it
like 2
takes you a
plays to
bit.
be like, oh, now we're playing this properly.
It takes
But
you a bit.
with these simple things, we're like, okay, if you draw that, you can use your power to hand it over to him, and he needs that, that symbol so that we're okay next turn, and he
That's
can
right.
pass and give his support to this person, and we can handle. And we were having those kinds of conversations that you have when you play a game like Ghost Stories, for example.
You do
But
that.
it was really fast and a lot easier to manage than Ghost Stories,
Yes.
for one.
Yes.
So yeah, I liked it. I thought it
of
was
course-
pretty good.
Yeah, we lost 2 family members in the first round of the first game, and that just set us back because then we
Yeah.
had to protect that the entire time.
And I could see with repeated plays how you would improve and start winning a lot more
Well,
often. And
So
Yeah.
when Adam played as well, he had another power where he could draw the top card, and if he didn't want it, he puts it on the bottom of the deck.
Right.
The first couple times, though, he didn't remember what he put on the bottom of the deck,
Yeah.
and they were like, so what's coming up? Do I need to throw it that way? It's going to be a duplicate.
And-
Someone else can pass 1, 3s, and 5s.
And really, I could see playing again with that power. I would use it every single turn because then we would have knowledge of the deck.
Yes.
So
as
every
long
time
as
I
we
used
all-
it, we know the end a little better if we can remember. Yeah, yeah.
But that's the thing. Then you remember.
Yeah,
Then
then- now
start
you
to
know I
learn.
need to remember
We pay
this.
attention more.
Right. Mm-hmm.
We learn what figures are down here, and you can't manipulate the deck too much, except
Just a
maybe
little bit.
yours, where you
Yeah.
get to draw twice.
Well, and the other, I don't think I keyed or whatever it's called
He did not key
a single time when we played.
Yeah.
But that guy got to look at the top 2 cards and put them face up. So as a character, he was all about deck knowledge.
Yes.
You had that character last night, and that was these 2 characters together were really powerful because this person can draw and then choose to draw again, and they were able to kind of load up their side with a variety of numbers.
And then I give them the power that says, oh, you can throw away duplicates. Well, all that's left in this deck right now is a 1, which would give the ki power, which then does other awesome
And since I can
stuff,
go
so
twice, I can be like, hey, that's a duplicate, throw away. I'm going to use my power and draw again, that's duplicate, throw
And we
away.
just toss
and that's
stuff
when we were starting to
repeatedly.
do like some powerful things, and I could see where the game was starting
That's
to shine
right.
a little bit.
Someone else, as I mentioned, can pass cards based on what number it is, which then fills holes,
Right.
or it's got a symbol on top, which the players next to you need.
Yes.
So,
And those people that allow, like this guy can, if he draws a 1, 3, or 5, he can pass it to his neighbor.
Yes.
And that's how we make these kiosks happen, is
Yes.
we intentionally keep ones that will be completed by a 1, 3, or 5 so that if he draws them, we can get them.
The problem though is I just took wounds and died both times.
Yeah,
I
and
had to save them
there's a
up.
lot of different ways you can end, the game can end too, so there's a lot of things to manage. But
Yes.
pretty fun,
All
and
right.
it took us, what, 20 minutes?
For the second game.
Yeah.
It was probably
Because we
that.
died so fast.
That's what happens. All right. So, Samurai Spirit from Antoine Balza and Funforge.